Alright, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tristan. Today I am back with another video here. Lots to talk about here today in this video, as Morgan Frost finally has signed his contract. I was starting to get not worried, I guess, not really concerned. I don't really know what I was feeling, to be honest. I'm honestly kind of glad that this is kind of over now and that Frost is signed, because Morgan Frost cannot miss training camp. Like, the more it got closer to camp, the more I thought about training camp, the more I thought about literally anything between Torts, Frost, and just the whole type of situation that was kind of going on with, Morgan and Torts last year and everything else. He couldn't miss camp. It was like a main key thing. The actual contract, it's a good contract. I honestly was kind of thinking that the Flyers were lowballing him. I had heard that a couple of times, that they were kind of lowballing him, and there were some other things that you could kind of, maybe pick up with that too. And, I look at this deal, and it's, again, 2-year deal, $2.1 million on the cap hit, 2.1 on the AAV. The first year, this season, 2023-24, is a 1.45 base salary, gets $350,000 in bonus, and then the next year, the base salary for 24-25 is 2.4. It all kind of evens out. It's 4.2 over the 2 years and 2.1 on the cap hit. So again, it's a good deal, I think, for Briere, because it kind of locks up a couple of players in this sort of range of around that 2-year, $2 million type mark, especially certain guys like Frost, like Cates, like Tippett. Honestly, if you're looking at just these next couple of years and kind of where the team kind of looks with the cap, a lot of the similar guys that are in this range of like the mid-20s, they're all in pretty good deals. Again, like I said, Frost, he's got 2 years, 2.1. Tippett has 1 year left at 1.5. Paling, excuse me, 1 year at 1.4. Tyson Foerster still has 2 years left on his ELC. He'll obviously get some sort of kind of deal like this after, I'm assuming. And then, you look at some other guys like Cates, who's 24, 2.6 million. It's little things like that, and Briere is getting these guys at good value. Frost definitely deserved a raise. That's one thing. Didn't have the best start. I think everybody knows how much of a Frost guy I am. I talk about it just about every podcast, every video I mention it. And it's not like I go out of my way or anything. It's just I notice the guy, and I know how good he is. And I think there are some people in the fan base and even in the media that, they make this like this is like a game with Frost, and then like you can't actually feel this sort of way about a player. And it's like, no, like, he genuinely is that good, and just people don't say. I don't know why, but no, like, he definitely showed promise towards the end of last year. It wasn't just one specific area. It wasn't offensively. It wasn't defensively. It was the entire game. The first 29 games were terrible. He was not good. He got scratched compared to a toilet seat, right? You can go through the whole laundry list of things in the beginning of the season. And there's the whole entire argument of he only scores goals against bad teams. Well, that might be literally the dumbest argument I've ever heard, A, because it's the National Hockey League, and B, if you want to really even have that argument, let's have it, because really, you look at it one way, okay, Frost scored against bad teams, sure, 16-0 in Tippett's 27 goals were against non-playoff teams, so, there's that, and again, it's not even like I'm trying to, feed into that argument. It's just it's a counterpoint, because it's like, it's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, it's people make it like Frost doesn't specifically score or really do anything. It's just it's mind-boggling what some of these, like, that I see these things and like people don't actually see it. They don't see the same thing I'm seeing. Like, what is going on here? The plays that Frost makes, the little things in the corners, like the little spin outs, he has so much skill, and he uses it in so many little areas that like you miss it sometimes. But again, for him in the deal, it walks him, 1 year off of RFA. Or, UFA status. He'll be 25 by the time that this deal ends up being done. 26. So, again, it's a good, solid deal for the Flyers. It makes a lot of sense. He definitely deserved a raise, like I mentioned, off the 1 year, $800,000. And honestly, in term, looking at it in term, I am so glad that this wasn't a 1-year deal because he deserves some stability. Like, it's not like, again, you have to realize with Frost that, he's a younger guy, right? 24, missed an entire year. He's basically 23, right? If you want to look at it in NHL, in terms of NHL development, it's not like he, it's not like he just kind of like, dilly-dallies along. Like, he genuinely puts up points. And honestly, with injuries and everything else, like, he ended up getting a boost towards the end of last year. He ends up being able to play, higher in the lineup, all that type of stuff. This is a solid deal for the Flyers. It's a solid deal for Frost. He's definitely betting on himself, which is a good thing, I think, because I know he has the skill to do it. And he did it last year. He did it towards the end of 21-22. It didn't, carry really into 2023, but he definitely got better towards January-ish, around there. He really started to kind of grow late December, January, really, kind of was pushing the pace, getting more points, scoring. It was the biggest thing. And I thought it wasn't just the offense. There was other areas of his game too. So I look at this as a win for the Flyers. They get the contract done. Frost doesn't miss camp. And now it's showtime. He's got to prove it. He's got to bet on him, betting on himself. He's got to show that. And I think for him, he can do it. I mean, he has the skill. I think if the Flyers are healthy, like I've pretty much said for weeks now on the podcast, everywhere else, if he's healthy, they genuinely can have a decent offense, and guys like Frost, Tippett, Cates, Paling, all these other guys, younger guys, they're going to be able to put up points. So especially when you add Couturier and Atkinson and the healthy Farabee and everything else. So hopefully that is the case. We will see. Let me know your guys' thoughts below. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, comment anything that you guys are, might be thinking, or any questions or anything like that. Hit me up in the comments below. Make sure to check out Maher Media. The website is up. I had a really good article today on some of the kind of overhaul, the hockey operations staff of the Flyers. That I put that out today, which did pretty well. All that other stuff. Thanks everybody so much for all the support as always, and I will talk to you guys all again soon.